Hello, lovely internet people. Welcome back to my channel, Nicole's of Many Opinions. I'm Nicole, and I have a lot of opinions. So today I'm going to share some of my opinions on music. I have feelings too. So the first album that really caught my attention is the Marfa Tapes by Miranda Lambert, John Ingram. I'm making those names up. Hold on. Miranda Lambert's the only one I know, and Jack Ingram and John Randall. So I thought that this was really interesting that this is the first one that caught my attention because, as you can probably tell since I butchered their names, country is not really my genre. It's not what I would choose to listen to normally. I have lived in Texas, and so I have a little bit of country like appreciation in me, but really if I'm gonna listen to country, it's gonna be like an angry girl or an angry woman singing about that, right? Like that's my vibes. That's kind of my vibes for all music if we're being real. But the like country artists that I know are like Dolly Parton, banger, honestly Reba McEntire, Shania Twain, Faith Hill, but like less, right? I think my mom listens to Faith Hill, so like yeah. I do know who Miranda Lambert is because I have an appreciation for the Pistol Annies. And like Mama's Broken Heart, I sing that at karaoke, banger. And that's really it. Like that's all I know about Miranda Lambert. And I have no idea who Jack Ingram and John, whatever his name are. John Randall. Sorry guys, if these are your people, my bad. And so the fact that the first album on this list that caught my attention was this one is really surprising to me. The reason that it caught my attention is because Craig Jenkins writes, the Marfa Tapes is a bare bones affair, little more than the sound of three voices, a guitar, and ambient noises like the crackle of a campfire or a gust of wind. Marfa is Lambert's rawest collection, a series of heartfelt yearnings about falling out of love and picking yourself up again, rendered all the more austere by the sense of isolation derived from the contrast between its muted folk and country tunes and the vastness of Texas underfoot. So, first of all, that's a beautiful description of an album. And it got me really interested because heartbreak, here for it. Songs about heartbreak, here for it. I think she has beautiful vocals, and so, like, could be very here for that. I know she went through a divorce to that guy on that show about singing, and then there was the bromance. Shelton, Blake did her wrong. That's what I know. Blake did her dirty. And so maybe this is a reaction to that, but I think that was a while ago. So maybe she had a new man and then her new man like did her dirty too and she wrote this album. Either way, I listened to the album. It is great. It is great. Her vocals are beautiful. He's right when he says you can hear the vastness of Texas. Like it sounds like it's just her in a field and you can hear the field and she's just singing like to her cows around a bonfire. And that is very much a sad girl vibes that I like. I thought it was so pretty. And yeah, so if that sounds like something you're into, you should absolutely check this out. I liked In His Arms, which was the first song on the album. There's also this song called Tequila Does. Love tequila. Love a drunk girl angry thing. And the lyrics are like, oh, you can see my cat in the back. There's Dapple. Like, he doesn't give me the same border town buzz that tequila does. Girl, leave him. If tequila is doing more for you than your man, you need to leave your man, is what I have to say about that. So that was the first album that I actually listened to. I'm going to talk about a few more that I actually listened to. I'm probably going to listen to all the albums on this list, but haven't yet. So the next one is Lana Del Rey's Chemtrails Over the Country Club. Now the reason, Dapple's just going to be my co-host for this. Yeah. The reason that this one caught my attention is because it's such a good name for an album. Chemtrails Over the Country Club is such a good name. Like, an album, a song, just something to yell at people, right? It's just such a good name. So I was like, okay, maybe, right? Come through, Lana Del Rey. Now, Lana Del Rey is not normally my like vibes. She's very ethereal, manic pixie dream girl, right? Like vibes in her music. The things I know about her are that she wore a like mesh mask during the pandemia. No, let's go with no for that. I know she like put out a poetry collection. I think I read one poem in that poetry collection. It was pretty good. And I think like, yeah, she has pretty good lyrics. She's a good writer. And her stuff sounds pretty, but that's all I really know. The reason that I was like, okay, maybe I will give this a shot, even though that manic pixie dream girl aesthetic is not really for me, is because Jenkins wrote in this article, Chemtrails finds the singer experiencing more of America, visiting the coast and the Midwest, and from the Midwest, yes, and finding that there's as much terror and intrigue outside, but more than anything, it's an ode to resilient women of the past and the present, of Lana coming to terms with the unforeseen side effects of her own trip from waitressing to fame, but also looking in on the lives of her friends and heroes. The theme is women doing whatever it takes to maintain happiness. Chemtrails seeks joy and also offers it to his listeners, or to its listeners. So, resilient women of the past and present, Chemtrail seeks joy, offers it to its listeners. It's about women doing whatever they need to maintain happiness. Those are all of the vibes all of the time, right? So I was like, okay, if that's how we're describing it, yes. So then I listened to the album. I did not listen to the whole album. I listened to like 4 songs on this album. Now, if Lana Del Rey is your people, if you love this, then that is great. And I get it. I do, because the aesthetic and the sound is really pretty. It's very like clouds, fairies, nymphs running through the forest. And I totally get that that could be some people's like want to listen to that. I don't normally want to listen to that. It reminds me, like the time that I listened to Lana Del Rey, I was in grad school, and it's very like sad girl aesthetic for me. It's very like, I'm drinking a Lone Star, I'm chain smoking a cigarette even though I don't smoke and I think it's gross, and like maybe I cried into my pillow. That is what Lana Del Rey gives me. Even if the lyrics are supposed to be joyful, it does not give me joy. There's a song called Dance Till You Die. That song does not make me want to dance. And that is just sad for me, right? Because I will dance to anything, and that song does not make me want to dance. So I think you will like this album if you like to climb up mountains. Wait for it, because I don't like to climb up mountains, but I like to see mountains, and I like to be at the top of mountains. But if you like to climb up mountains and look at wildflowers, and then at the top of the mountain you want to like eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and like hear the wind with like a matcha latte, and then maybe go home and cry. So if that is your vibes, what I just explained there, I think you will like this album. Just some like silent hiking by yourself, eating a peanut butter and jelly, looking at wildflowers, drinking a matcha latte at the top of a mountain. I don't know how the matcha latte got to the top of the mountain, but it is there for you. And then you're crying. And that feels like this album, which is not my vibes. So let's move on. The next album that I was like, yes, is Jasmine Sullivan's Heaux Tales. So first of all, the name, so it's Heaux. French pronunciation, I'm pretty sure, is Heaux Tales. Hilarious. And I don't know if she did this on purpose, but I think Heaux is like feelings of wonderment and gratefulness. And like the meaning of Heaux means feelings of wonderment and gratefulness. So if you say it in English, it's Heaux Tales. Hilarious. And then like maybe there's a little slant there about like gratefulness about your life. And if so, that's cool. The reason I think the name is so funny is because this is an album about like being in your body and like vibing and like sleeping with men's and doing your life. And so R&B is my genre. R&B, neo soul are my preferred genres. If I'm gonna put something on, it will most likely be in one of those two genres. I love Jasmine Sullivan, so like, yes. This album, bangers all day. If you are going to hear something on this list, you should listen to this album. The first song, the intro is great. The intro is called Bodies. And basically she has been drinking and she's like, I gotta stop pressing my luck. I don't know what was in that cup. She wakes up and she's like, oh, stop. Like, you cannot be living this life. She had a great night, obviously. But she wakes up and she doesn't know where she is. Bodies, right? If it's me, I'm like, I'm too old for this life. This is no longer cute, Nicole. But I still like the nostalgia of being that girl, right? I like the nostalgia of it. We're not there anymore, especially during the pandemia, but like, that's okay. We can still listen to it and enjoy the feelings, the vibes. In this album, there's a bunch of like women's names, Antoinette's Tale, Donna's Tale, and I just think like it's so beautiful. I also liked Pick Up Your Feelings. I liked Put It Down. I like Price Tags. So I liked so many songs in this album. I would for sure check it out if I was you. There are other albums on this list that look really good. Those are just the 3 that I have listened to so far. So I might listen to a few other ones, but I encourage you to click on the link, read the article, because it's actually really well done, and you can, like I said, preview it all. So that's all I have for today. Those are my opinions. If you thought this was interesting, boop, boop, give me a thumbs up, hit the like button, or subscribe. Thank you for joining me for my opinions. Bye-bye, party people.